Hello, ineffable being. How are you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful, magical day. I want to tell you that you are a genius. You are special. You mean the world, and you are loved. Today, what I'm going to tell you isn't going to be such an easy thing to hear. But quite frankly, we have to discuss it. What are our pleasures, and why do we do them? Do not do things for pleasure. I just have to come out again and tell you, don't do things for pleasure. Now, this is going to be a short video, so bear with me and hear my case. So, what do we usually do things for? Well, oftentimes we do what feels good, right? If we have a decision, oftentimes, depending on how you're living your life, you're going to do what feels good to you. And oftentimes what we see is that the problem is what feels good is a habit. What feels good fuels our personality. But the question I always ask is your personality creating your reality, or is your reality creating your personality? Because if you're living through the latter, then what it means then, the problem is that what feels good is not good for you. It's not going to get you where you want to go. It's not going to create the life that you want. What feels good is a habit. And a habit is simply a redundant set of automatic, unconscious reactions, emotions, actions that is acquired through repetition. So, if a habit is a redundant set of automatic emotions, actions, and thoughts and reactions acquired through repetition, and me and you in the present moment, we get presented with, X and Y. We have to make the option. You know what this means? That we're going to lean towards what is a habit. We're going to lean towards what has the largest neural network in the brain. What am I saying here? What I'm saying is that every experience with every person, everything, every place creates a neural network in your brain. So what this means then, if you're not waking up to the vision of a future, if you're not waking up to consciously create the emotions you want to feel, to create the thoughts that you want to do, and demonstrate the actions that you much rather create in your life, then whenever you're presented with pleasure or not, you're going to go down the route of pleasure, not because it feels good, not because it's going to get you where you need to go, simply because you're accustomed to it, you're conditioned to it. So of course it feels good, but everything that doesn't feel good doesn't mean it's the best thing for you. Now, if that is what pleasure really is, it's a redundant set of automatic, unconscious thoughts, emotions, and reactions. Well, how are we going to live our life? Are we just not ever going to do the things that we think we like? Well, I invite you to simply be conscious of your pleasures. And watch my last video discussing this, where we discussed what pleasure foods are. And this is just kind of like version 2.0 of that video. But make a list of everything that you enjoy to do, right? So we're talking about watching movies on Friday, we're talking about going out to the club, we're talking about going out to the bar with your friends, playing basketball, playing video games. Make a list of things that you consider to be your pleasures. And make time for these things, because if they're your pleasures, if this is something that you're like, that makes you happy, that you're passionate about, wouldn't you much rather set a conscious time in your calendar, say on Saturdays from 11 to 2, I'm going to play Call of Duty. I believe this is a much smarter, healthier way to go about our pleasures, because now our pleasures don't control us. Look, I work 16 hours a day. I have a corporate job. I am fueling a community of ineffable beings, daily videos in 2 languages, a creating what's it called? Creating trainings every single day, and also have a personal development mentorship. So I'll tell you what, I sleep about 6 hours a day. It's more comfortable, it's more pleasure to be in bed. But you know what? I get up every day. It doesn't mean that I'm not a happy person. By all means, I am probably, I don't know how you perceive me. I hope to believe that I am full of light, because that's what I feel. That's what every cell in my body is creating. just love and ineffability and high, loving, elevated emotions. Why? Because I sat down one day and I said, what are the pleasures in my life? What are the things that I like? Sex, movies, food, rest. You know, there's a couple other things. I mean, just me personally, I like personal development. That's a pleasure of mine. So I looked at my list of pleasures and I said, okay, well, if if my reality is creating my personality, then this means that my pleasures are going to control me because these pleasures create a neural network in my brain, and each neural network has an emotion associated with it. And depending on the size of the emotional quotient, determines the gravity this pleasure X and Y situation has on me. So then, more easily and more I am more prone to repeating this in the future. But the question I ask you, do you want to create the life that you want? And it could just be happiness, love, good environment, good relationships, or it could be wealth and creating a dream and so forth. So the question still stands, is your personality creating your reality, or is your reality creating your personality? Because only the person that's waking up to a vision of the future is going to be able to move through space and time and direct their life and say, you know what, this is something that I enjoy, but right now I have to do this. And they're going to look at their calendar and they're going to say, okay, on Saturdays I'm going to do this. On Mondays I'm going to talk to my friend. On this time I'm going to do this. And you can still make time for your pleasures. But the question is, are they controlling you? You just go about life without even with your eyes closed, or are you going at life intentionally? This is something that is very fundamental in your life whenever you're beginning to move forward, opening your consciousness, opening your world. And if it means this has been my topic on pleasures, and please put down in your comments, did you enjoy this topic or not so much? And also put your topics that you'd like for me to cover in the future. And lastly, I'd like to invite you to share this video on your social media accounts and give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. I hope to see you on the side of light. Goodbye.